Assalamualaikum and hi my dear Hasbi. Me Nur Fatimah and my team Muhammad Adam and Nur Aminuddin from Group 1 will present to you our Group SME topic, that is the importance of Islamic capital market in Malaysia.
Islamic capital market is a long-term investment. It is an important component of the financial system in order to raise funds, and it is a place where viable companies compete for capital for the purpose of development and growth. ICM acts as complementary to a country's financial system and conducts activities such as conventional capital markets but based on Sharia principles. Thus, in order to ensure the financial system is compliant with Sharia, it must comply with Islamic ethical characteristics of the rights and responsibilities of the parties involved in the market, such as not involved in riba, maisir, and gharar. Sharia gives priority to operational transparency, which aims to safeguard the interests of all parties involved, in addition to closing the space that can lead to conflict in the future. Although the Islamic capital market is still in a growth stage, and there is still no capital market that is fully based on Islam, but at least it provides an alternative for the community, especially Muslim, in finding a Sharia-compliant financial system. In Malaysia, this financial system has gained support from the government, especially the Ministry of Finance, thus becoming the main key to accelerating the process of growth and development Islamic capital market in this country. It was further boosted by the encouraging response from market participants such as investors, financial intermediaries, as well as companies in need of financing based on Islamic principles. On the other hand, there are parties responsible as regulators, namely the Security Commission (SC) and also the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC). They will regulate and provide guidelines to every financial system, especially related to Sharia compliance activities. Thus, this will ensure that the adherence to Sharia is maintained and conflicts are avoided.
Okay, next is for the objective. This research is to define the importance of Islamic capital market (ICM) in Malaysia, which is to abolish usury and advance Islamic and world economies. In 1995, the objective of the capital and securities market of ICM is stated that the country with a sizable private sector can benefit significantly from the economic services that a well-managed and regulated capital market can provide. First and foremost, only a regulated securities market can offer shares with the essential marketability and price-stability for investors' needs. Additionally, only such a market can guarantee appropriate levels of safety and ethical conduct when purchasing and selling stocks. Thirdly, a properly run stock market contributes to a reasonably accurate assessment of securities in terms of their true worth through the interaction of supply and demand for securities. Last but not least, the stock exchange aids in the orderly movement and distribution of savings as among many competitive investment types. Okay, as for the literature review, there are several studies that more focus on the importance of the Islamic capital market (ICM). According to the Islamic Research and Training Institute, a part of the Islamic Development Bank Group, Islamic finance has rapidly expanded during the previous 10 years. The changes have been especially important for tradable securities, which are the cornerstone of financial markets. The right laws, procedures, and supporting institutions are essential for a healthy capital market that could aid in socio-economic growth. Islamic capital markets are crucial to the Islamic financial system, effective resource mobilization, and efficient resource allocation, according to Salman Ali. This marketplace supplement the Islamic banking industry function as an investor. Orang Dapur Hakim discussed the products and activities of the Islamic capital market. The global financial crisis has exposed the flaws in the traditional financial system and had a negative impact on financial markets all around the world. In light of this worry, the author asserts that his great concern for an alternative financial system served as the impetus for him to write this book. The Islamic banking system is more complex than merely being interest-free, according to Zamir Iqbal and Hiroshi Subota. Its core is defined by the encouragement of entrepreneurship protection of property rights, openness, and the honoring of contractual obligations, all of which are essential components of a stable financial system. Compared to the meager $6 billion in the early 1980s, the astounding size of Islamic financial and banking activity now is over $250 billion.
The Islamic capital market can be divided into two parts: equity, such as share and stock, and debt known as sukuk. For share in Islamic equity, this method is based on partnership, whereby the capital is contributed by each partner, and the profits and losses will be divided according to the percentage that has been mutually agreed under the laws of the Musharakat agreement, joint and profit returns based on signed agreement. At the same time, there are some conditions needed to be followed to maintain the Sharia compliant status. First of all, the main business of the company must not oppose Sharia. Thus, shares profit received from companies that provide financial services on interest, such as conventional bank and insurance companies, are not allowed. In addition, income from companies involved in certain other businesses that are not approved by Sharia, such as companies that manufacture, sell, or offer liquor, pork, illegal meat, or engage in gambling, nightclub activities, or pornography, are not allowed as well. In the other situation, if the company's main business is halal, such as motoring and food, but their excess amount is deposited in an interest-bearing account or borrow money on interest, then it is not allowed. At the same time, shareholders must express their disapproval of the transaction. Last but not least, if the income from interest-bearing is included in the income of the company, the portion of that income in the dividends paid to the shareholders must be given as charity and cannot be kept by him. The second part of Islamic capital market is sukuk. Sukuk is defined as a certificate of value, which is proof of ownership of an undivided asset, benefits right, or ownership over a particular investment project or activity. In principle, sukuk is an obligation in the form of the application of the concept of obtaining capital for business financing and development of infrastructure of assets for business and investment purposes based on Sharia principle that are free from usury, gharar, and gambling. There are various types of sukuk nowadays. According to the accounting and auditing organization for Islamic financial institution, there are 14 different types of sukuk. The type of sukuk exists based on direction of the fund raised, which are invested in business prospect, each of which differs in terms of its Sharia principle and processes. For example, sukuk ijar, where the first party leases the asset benefit rights to another party based on the agreed price and period. Ijar is the right to use the goods without transfer of ownership. Another type of sukuk is sukuk salam, whereby the contract of sale and purchase of an item whose amount and criteria has been clearly determined with payment made in advance and the goods delivered later at mutually agreed time.
First is findings about capital market. Capital market provides a market mechanism and it is an important link between savers and investors. It also facilitates the movement of streams of capital to be used for productivity and profitability. Other than that, it immobilizes savings and channels them into productive investment for the development of commerce and industry. The Islamic capital market is a component of the overall capital market in Malaysia. There are three importance of Islamic capital market in Malaysia. Firstly, it plays an important role in generating economic growth for Malaysia. ICM is financial intermediation of an economy. Financial intermediation activities of channeling funds from surplus to the deficit units in the economy, including through Islamic capital market, affect the growth of the Malaysian economy. The Islamic capital market contributes to the Malaysian economy by way of capital formation and capital efficiency, serve as a conduit for growth. The ICM fulfill the need for companies and government to raise money and for investors to find profitable projects to invest in. In addition, there is evidence of causality between the turnover of the Islamic capital market and the Malaysian economy. The findings shows that Islamic capital markets channel and raise funds effectively for productive investment activities. It further proves the notion that in general, Islamic finance is more inclined to real sector growth compared to its conventional counterpart due to the emphasis on equity-based financing compared to debt-based financing. Secondly, it plays a complementary role to the Islamic banking system in expanding and deepening the Islamic financial markets in Malaysia. It is because the ICM is currently the fastest growing segment in the Islamic financial market in Malaysia. So, if ICM is expanding and deepening, it will affect the Islamic financial market positively. Thirdly, it functions as a parallel market to the conventional capital market. The ICM is a platform for Muslims to invest and grow their wealth other than the conventional capital market. Other than that, the ICM serves the Muslim entrepreneurs who are trying to do business and want to raise money for the initial capital while following the Sharia law. The conventional capital market that has bonds, meanwhile the ICM or the Islamic capital market that has sukuk. What distinguishes conventional capital market and Islamic capital market is that ICM products are made based on Islamic principles and Islamic model, whether wakalah or ijarah or mudarabah and others. Other than that, ICM products must pass the Sharia screening process by the Sharia Advisor Council (SAC) according to the benchmark set by them. This is to ensure that Muslims who invest in Islamic capital market get a halal profit. That's why they work parallel to one another. In conclusion, the Islamic capital market is divided into two types, namely equity, for example halal stock, and debt sukuk that plays an important role in generating economic growth for Malaysia. The ICM plays a complementary role to the Islamic banking system in expanding and deepening the Islamic financial markets in Malaysia and functions as a parallel market to the conventional capital market.